What's in the future for Barry Strauber? What is next couple of
Lucas,
years?
I would guess I'm probably going to work for you one day.
All right. Well, firstly, I just want to thank everybody for joining and from seeing the marketing throughout the week on sitting here with Barry Strauber, and welcome to the second of a series of interviews about life at RIT, and maybe we would take this in another direction, talking about other facets of life. So this is going to be a long part, but obviously I'm sitting here with Barry Strauber, celebrity at RIT. He's the lecturer of the School of Communications and College of Liberal Arts. He's on the Dean Advisory Board. He's the owner and CEO of Rising brand and marketing company. He has experience as VP at Partners and Napier and has project management experience for many companies such as Vicom FCB, Della, Femina, and William Etsy from New York and LA. He has over 11,000 connections on LinkedIn.
All my best friends.
He has a 4.7 out of 5 rating on Rank My Professor and has a 100% would take again recommendation as a professor. Ladies and gentlemen, Barry Strauber.
It's almost like everybody should applaud and I should leave now. I can't.
Oh man.
Very nice thing.
Let's start talking about RIT. What is this? What has been your experience with like the student body of RIT? Would you say how your interaction has been? I mean, teaching us
with the students. Well, you know, it's funny in the very beginning. There's just this anecdotal thing. I remember in the very beginning when I was just about to start teaching my first class as an adjunct, I said to somebody who was my supervisor, I said, how could this go bad? And he said, the only way it could go badly is if you don't like them. You know what? That's the one thing I can be sure right now. I like them. I think it's great. So I right away got into, you know, having it be, you know, this joy that I can do. And I think I layered on stuff like, you know, I give out awards at the end of the term.
Yeah, I've heard those.
Oh, you know, but I talk to people who are like in New York City who have now gotten great jobs or like at these big offices, and they always say to me they still have my little paper on their wall. We keep that up there. But doing things that make it fun and interesting. I mean, I teach advertising, which is sort of like an interesting subject anyway. I mean, that's a pretty amazing subject to have the benefit of being able to talk about that.
I mean, we've been talking about it. It's very fast moving, and you said that social media, everything's in 5 minutes, things are moving. How have you stayed current? Do you have a TikTok? Are you on Instagram? Obviously, you're on LinkedIn.
I get a little bit involved in everything. Because for me to get like totally involved, TikTok actually is like really irresistible. It's really hard not to do.
It is very addicting.
It's amazing. You know, because I think about when I started in the 80s in advertising, and it was about, you know, maybe 5 different things you can do with it, with an advertisement. It weren't really much more than that. And now you can't even count how many ways you can sort of get a message out.
Gotcha. So, I mean, one of the last questions really for me before we open it up for Q&A is, what's in the future for Barry Strauber? What is next?
Lucas, I would guess I'm probably going to work for you one day. Because I've been just my little time being able to sort of see what you're like. I think you're going to run the world very soon. This is not going to happen much longer from now than. You know, it's the intent. I really truly believe that teaching is my intention. It's my promise. It's this. I remember I was doing it for a while, and I had guest speakers come in, my friends from Rochester, and they knew me for a while, and they would just, as they would leave, they'd come over to me and say, they'd look at me and they'd point me and say, "This is it. This is it for you." Because it was just that thing of like, I know that I can affect people. I know I can add value to their lives. I know I could help them in a way that might actually affect their outcome of what they're going to do after school. That's an amazing, it's a responsibility and an amazing sort of gift that I was given when I started doing that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, again, as I said in the beginning, as a professor, you've touched a lot of students, and obviously many of them have had an amazing experience. So I think that's really you've been a blessing to RIT and a lot of listening by. So.
Thank you, Lucas. There's political turmoil with advertising. You can't please everyone. How can you cope with situations where there's political turmoil? Yeah, I mean, I would say like politically, I would say right now, look at the advertising. It's going out. Look at what brands are doing. Look at what brands, as soon as the virus pandemic started going, look what brands started doing, and look at the political aspect of some of those brands. That's interesting. You're right. You can't please everyone. You're going to go a certain way. You know, this all goes down into like brands wanting to be very transparent and showing their personality and what they truly believe in as human beings. Advertising reflects culture. And advertising also reflects.
We need to quote that. We need to quote that. That's a good one. Advertising reflects culture. That's good.
I mean, like it's almost like a mirror because they know all they want to do is please you.
Mm-hmm.
And if they appeal to you in a political way, in an ad or something, they're telling you something that they want to think is going to attract you, but it's very political. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a good question to end on, really. I mean, that was a well said. First, I just want to say thank you for joining us today. I mean, you've shed a lot of wisdom on me and hopefully a lot of people in the live. And again, you've been a blessing and a resource to RIT. And
Lucas, thank you. You're going to do great. You have a career ahead of you that's going to be amazing. Keep that standard really high because you're going to do awesome. You are.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Have a good rest of your week. It's Monday today, but
you too. Take care.